Hello everyone and welcome back to Premier League Blitz podcast, and today we're going to be talking about last week's fixtures, our team of the week from last week, and then next week's fixtures are going off on tangents. I'm Elliot Ward and I'm a Leeds fan.
I'm Callum Wright, I'm a Liverpool fan.
Right, so to kick off today, I think we'll just get into last week's results. We're not going through all of them, we're going through a handful. And let's go straight into Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2. Again, a good result for Manchester City and the chasing pack. Probably just Man City, and a better result for Harold as well if you watch him, mate. Absolutely fantastic.
You beat me to it. I'm sure Harold's buzzing right now. I mean, like, all that hyping up he did for Arsenal. I mean, what was he? Was he mad at us for, like, taking the mick out of Arsenal when we, like, collectively took the mick out of the entire league?
Yeah, I think you are, yeah.
Are we supposed to just, like, take this game like, Arsenal were brilliant? They only lost 2-1. You gotta feel bad for him. The pitch was too dry. That's like,
oh no, I saw that. That's absolutely horrific, that, isn't it? But I think the reason we're taking the mick out of Arsenal is because what have they won in the last 5 years? And the thing is, right, which I don't mind Arsenal. I mind the fans. I don't mind the club. I think they're brilliant at football, and I think the best team I've watched this season at Ellen Road. But they've got that Tottenham in them. It must be a
North London
thing. Yeah.
It might be because I'm a cop-out, but I can't stand Arteta. It's just I don't like how he presents himself. I think at times he's funny, at times he's great, but I feel like it's got to him, the constant finishing second, and he's become maybe slightly delusional. Like a couple of years ago, they were playing brilliant football, and you wanted them to win the league for a change of scenery from it just being Man City every year. But like now, it's like watching Diego Simeone in the Premier League. It's just the football he's playing is awful. And then the fans go and excuse it, but they've got a mural of their set piece coach right next to Thierry Henry. That's like in Liverpool. It's like having the Ian Rushman. That's like the Ian Rush mural having the kitchen lady next to it. It's just that'd be ludicrous.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that semi-final between Arsenal and Atletico is going to be a horrible watch, especially on the two legs. One off, maybe we'll go to penalties because it's 0-0, but I think over two legs it's going to be absolutely horrific.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
The weirdest thing is I want Atletico to win. Like, I want the English teams to carry on because I fear for Liverpool finishing fourth. I'd rather my team be in the Champions League because we need the money to rebuild the team. Because oh my god, we're reportedly about to lose a lot of players. But yeah. As much as I want that fifth place, I don't want them progressing further in the Champions League because especially pre last week they were absolutely unbearable. It's like. I just watched, I think it was Saturday Social, I don't know what it was, Robbie and that City fan who said they were going to win 5 leagues in a row before Liverpool won it. It was unbearable.
Also, I think, obviously, those 2 won at the weekend to Bournemouth, which is huge, and it's huge in the mentality, and I think we saw that against Sporting on Tuesday or last night. It was horrible. It was horrible to watch, and I think Sporting, if they give it a bit of a more go, that's not a word, but you know what I'm trying to get at.
Give it a bit
more of a go. That's the right terminology. But I think they could have done them. I really do, and I think they're shook. And I think going into Manchester City, how they'd go into that Sporting game or go into the Bournemouth game, I think they'll absolutely get terrorised.
Oh, they'll get terrorised by Man City. I mean, played them the other week. Obviously, I weren't there. I watched it at home, but oh my god, they were doing another level. Liverpool weren't good, but oh my god, was City just an absolute machine? Genuinely, they look like they're gelling together for the first time in years. Because I feel like, obviously, you've got the loss of De Bruyne, but I feel like since the treble, I feel like their players have all kind of lost their level a little bit. And I feel like Pep kind of struggles to replace those players. Like when they lost Vincent Kompany, it took them years to replace him till they signed like Ruben Diaz 2 or 3 years later. I feel like since the treble, like obviously they haven't had the same level of team, but they're starting to get to that point with this current team. If you know what I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. I feel like if Pep stays this summer, I think they'll absolutely walk the league next year, and I think they'll win it again this year because I've been in a City title race. Like I've seen quite a few. You don't beat them. They just, especially in the second half of the season, they don't stop winning. If you drop points at any point against Man City in the title race, the league's gone. Like 21-22, we had a draw to Tottenham. That draw to Tottenham cost us the league. Obviously, everyone talks about David Cooper, the pen at Everton, which, yeah, I get that. But us drawing to Tottenham cost us the league. That's Man City. You can't drop points at any point against them. And you can't go to the Etihad and win. It's like, you just don't. You don't win at the Etihad.
And I think as well, going on this weekend, they've got Arsenal, which we'll talk about later, but I think whoever wins that do win the league. And speaking about Man City, obviously last week they did beat Chelsea 3-0. And I watched that game. I'm sure you probably watched that game as well. And they were so good that second half. So good.
Honestly, Man City are fun to watch again. I feel like I said, since the treble, they've been a bit off. They look like an absolute unit. You can't beat that team. Someone who I'm probably going to talk a bit more about later, Ryan Cherky. Oh my God, he walked through the defense. It wasn't even dribbling. It was like walking. It was like a commute through the defense. He makes it look so easy. I don't know if the Chelsea defense is just terrible, because I know it's not the best defense, especially the centre backs, because they're all just a bunch of young centre backs who don't know what they're doing. But Cherky honestly just walked through them. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I agree, and especially with Semenyo, I think them two have brought back that fire for Manchester City in a bit, and I think it's similar to your Riyad Mahrez and your Leroy Sané when you used to watch him a few years ago, and they used to be very good to watch. And I think with them two wingers now, I think it's perfect, and it's bringing back that feeling for Manchester City and everyone else in the league for watching them.
Yeah, I can make this comparison because he played for my club. Semenyo reminds me quite a bit of Raheem. I don't know what it is about him. I think it's the fact that he's just a pacey winger playing for Man City. But like you said with Mahrez and Sane, it reminds me of when they had the Centurions where they had Sane and Sterling on each side. It reminds me of that, because they actually have fast wingers that are supplying balls into the striker, and when Haaland has someone creative behind him, he's just gonna score. It's not a question of if, it's when. So I know Foden's been a bit off, but obviously they've got Cherky in his position now. I feel like if they can make Cherky the creative engine, supplying to three absolute beasts of players, I think you're solid.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously going on to Manchester City, going from Manchester City, on to Sunderland versus Spurs as well last week, which is a huge game for Spurs, huge game for Leeds, huge game for Forest, huge game for West Ham. And Spurs losing again away to Sunderland. And I watched that with my dad, and my dad watched it and he said to me, they absolutely looked like horrible, no grit whatsoever, Spurs. Yeah. And I think they could genuinely go down now. And I think I were a bit pessimistic last week because obviously we had Manchester United and West Ham had a tough game. Forest had Villa, but I think for them to lose, for Forest to pick up a point and for Leeds to win 3 points, I think it's looking very, very dangerous for Spurs.
Yeah, I went in expecting Spurs to beat Sunderland. Honestly, early doors it looked quite strong. I'm personally, I don't think that decision was right to overrule the penalty, because I do believe that Luke O'Nien hit Callum. Was it Callum Owani first before the ball? And I know there wasn't much in it, but regardless, if you catch someone off their feet, regardless of the amount of contact, it's a pen. But Tottenham didn't really deserve to say they were robbed, if you know what I mean. They didn't. They looked unbothered. They look like they don't care. They look like they don't care for the badge. And I know it's Tottenham. It's certainly not it's not like a Real Madrid or something. But in my mind, it doesn't matter if you're it doesn't matter to me if you're at Tranmere or Liverpool. It's you die for the badge no matter what club you're at. But with Tottenham, they look lifeless, soulless. They don't care. It's they just go in, collect the paycheck, and go home. They don't care.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you on that. When you watch, I think a lot of Spurs fans do say Archie Gray is probably the only one that plays for the badge, and which for a 19-year-old kid, or he might be 20 now. It's mad, really. And all these kids out on loan, your Mikey Moore, your Will Lancashire, who's doing well in the Championship. I think if they come into this team, they give you a bit of a boost. But I think with these players on big wages, I don't really think they care.
No. A player I liked at Tottenham, I know he wasn't the most popular. I liked Brandon Johnson. He was never a top player. He was never Like, never like a player you'd be like, oh, I want to watch Spurs to watch Brennan Johnson. But, like, he was always like, he was always pressing. He was always like, he didn't stop. So he's the type of winger you need. And now they're playing Matisse Tell there, who's not a winger, he's a striker. Like, and who else have you got there? They got Odebert, who's got an ACL. Who else have they got on the wings? I feel like they miss him so much. And now they're playing Conor Gallagher, who's a CDM on the wing. It's what are they doing? And get the Leeds fan talking about Archie Gray.
I know, I miss him, and if they go down, I hope we do get him. But I have seen quite a lot about him with Liverpool these last few days. I mean, if you've got Leeds or you've got Liverpool, I think as much as a big Leeds fan he is, I think you have to take that step and go to Liverpool.
I absolutely love him at Liverpool. A couple of years ago, I think when you just got the Red Bull money, you'll know you're the Leeds fan here. When you had that, I think it was Pirot, and then you had Rutter, Somerville, and Gnonto behind them. I watched a bit of Leeds that season because I thought they looked promising. It was beyond me how you didn't get promoted with that attack.
Same.
Absolutely beyond me how you managed that. One song on the radio that day. But honest to God, I think I've lost my train of thought completely. Oh my God. Give me a minute. I think I watched a lot of Archie Gray that year, and I really wanted to sign him. I was really gutted when he went to Tottenham because I thought that was a waste. Because Tottenham, I knew they won the Europa League that season, but like they didn't look like they were going to do anything. And I think he's one of England's best talents. Like I absolutely love to have him at Liverpool because if it's reportedly true that Alexis McAllister wants to go, we definitely need to replace someone in his position. I wouldn't exactly say he's off the level to start every week for a team competing like for the top spots. I'm not going to say the title because I don't think that's really a question right now. But like, I'd love him at Liverpool, but it's the question of how much would he cost? Will Spurs go down? And yeah, Spurs go down.
Well, I think that's it. I think if Spurs go down, then he has to go. I don't think he'll stay there. But I think if Spurs stay up, then he does stay there because I do think he loves Spurs. But I do, and I think he's probably got that potential to be one of England's best talents, like you said. And I think in 3, 4, 5 years' time, I think he will be starting for England. Because he's so versatile, he can play in the midfield is his best position. We knew that as Leeds fans, but he got shifted out to right back, and then for Tottenham, he's been playing right back, he's been playing centre back, and then back in centre mid now. And you can see how good he is when they put him back into centre mid.
He's best as a pivot midfielder from what I've seen of him. I was always surprised he played him right back. Because when I watched him, he was good defensively, but he looked solid like creation wise. So you kind of want him in a pivot because you can have one CDM stay back behind him and him kind of go up. One of the reasons I'd love him at Liverpool because the McAllister role would suit him perfectly because he's got Gravenberch behind him and he's got Wirtz there who kind of moves out a little bit. That'd allow him the space to go up and create while still being a defensive midfielder. I genuinely think Liverpool would be a very good club for him. It's more the case of we don't seem to sign English players because they're expensive.
Yeah. Right, speaking of Liverpool, let's get on to Liverpool versus Fulham. From last week, what are your thoughts on the game? I thought, you're getting back to form, you're doing well, and I think Rio, when he came on, he's so exciting. I watched him against PSG as well, and he's so exciting when he comes on. He gets crowd off the feet, his step overs, he's so elusive, and I think he's great.
I was by myself watching the game because my mum and dad had to go to Manchester for some reason. I don't remember, but I saw the team sheet, saw Rio, and I was bouncing. I was like, I wasn't sure about the game because last time we played Fulham, we weren't very good. That's just all I'll say. I was on a train and then I just saw the score. And I was like, I'm not even going to bother watching the highlights. But for that game, as soon as I saw Rio on the team sheet, I was like, we're winning this. I was like, I just knew because like with Gakpo this season, I don't dislike Gakpo, but he's fell off so much this season, especially for how good he was last year. You bring in Rio, and I don't think we've had a player like Rio since Mane because he creates so much, he offers so much on the left, and as good as Luis Diaz was, he never really offered like what Rio offers. I feel like if we give him game time, if there's a report that we want to loan him out, that's a load of baloney. There's no way we're loaning him out. He has to start. He creates so much, he offers so much. He set up the Salah goal. His goal, like, oh my God, what a goal. I'm not going to say he needs to be in the England team, but I feel like Tuchel needs to keep an eye on him because if we keep playing him and he keeps playing like that, I think he fixes like a massive problem for England being the left winger position.
Yeah. 100%. I 100% agree with you. And I do think that he will be in that England squad in the next few years. And I do think that he's probably better than Max Dowman at the minute. I know he gets a lot of plaudits, does Max Dowman, and he's going to be a very, very good player, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think the way he's shouted for England and people are thinking, oh, he should go with England this summer. And Rio's not really getting that as much love. But I do think Rio probably is twice as good as he is now. But we never know in the future who will be better. But I do think Rio deserves it more than Max Dowman would if one of them was to go.
I'll be completely honest. I really like Max Dowman. Whenever I've watched him, he looks like he actually cares for the badge of Arsenal. I think his crossing ability is amazing. I think Rio's like he's like your proper cut inside winger, like your modern winger. I think Dowman looks more like an old fashioned winger. But I think both of them will be starting for England in like 2 or 3 years. I just think they both ooze quality. And I have a feeling that Dowman's going to end up pushing Saka to go to like a Madrid or something, because 2 or 3 years he's going to be benching Saka. I love Saka, I love the bone to him. He's a good player, but if he keeps playing the way he is with Max Dowman like creeping in behind, he's not gonna keep his spot.
I agree, and I think Saka obviously not putting the numbers up, which is massive. I know he's a very good player without needing the numbers, and I think people hate on him because he doesn't have the numbers. But I think as well, you have to have the numbers in the Premier League because you have to be exciting. You have to, like, Cherky has come in and ripped it up. Semenyo obviously has been brilliant and he's scoring, he's assisting, whereas Saka, when he seems to get on the ball, he seems to go backwards or sideways. You never see him taking on a defender and whipping one in for Gyökeres up front. You never see that. And I think that's what he needs to do. And I think he should be allowed that freedom to do that. And I think it'd be back to his best that he was a few years ago, similar to Marcus Rashford. Just let them run at them.
I think if you bring up Rashford, I think it sets up the perfect, like, it sets up what I'm about to say perfectly. I think Saka's outgrown Arsenal. I think Arsenal's what's holding him back, because Arteta's making him play a very old-fashioned winger role to the point where he's almost playing like a wing-back, which I know Saka come out of Arsenal's academy as a left-back, but you can't. That's like the same logic of saying I'm going to play Bale left-back because he was a left-back at Southampton. He was in the wrong position. I feel like Saka needs to go to a team where he's going to be given the freedom to just go and take on his man. At Arsenal, they don't let you do that. And as much as you could say maybe go to a City, I don't think City would be the right team for him because the wingers are too rigid. They just stay on the line. Honestly, I think Saka could, I think this is going to sound a bit rogue, but I could see him at Madrid. Obviously the influx of English players going there. You got Trent, you got Bellingham, and I feel like Madrid need to overhaul their entire attack. Vinny wants 600k a week, make him the highest paid player in Madrid history. That's just ludicrous. Mbappe seems to be ruining the team morale. Rodrigo's submitted a transfer request, and Arda Güler looks better in midfield. Honestly, I feel like Saka will be a very good option for him if they manage to get him for a cut price at the end of his contract in a couple of years.
Yeah, I do think it'd be abroad, whether it's Real Madrid, your PSG, which you don't really see anyone going there and replacing any of their players because they are brilliant, or Bayern Munich, which you've got Elise on that side. So again, he doesn't probably get in there. So yeah, Real Madrid is probably the most realistic choice for him in the next few years to go. And then finishing off, obviously, from last week, we had the big game on Monday, Leeds United 2, Manchester United 1. Absolutely buzzing.
You could have your moment, mate.
Honestly, that first half was the best first half we played all season. We were absolutely fantastic. And not to go in 4-0 up was unfortunate, but that second half, as soon as he got a red card, I knew we were going to sit back. We weren't going to go for it.
Yeah,
and that's putting pressure on ourselves. We put pressure on ourselves. We conceded that one, and it was the worst 20 minutes ever because they just kept coming. They just kept trying, and I think we give special mention to Ethan Ampadu for shutting Bruno Fernandes down as much as he did, because as much as Bruno Fernandes played a big part in that game, and he still got on the ball, he still whipped the ball in. I think Ampadu 9 times out of 10 probably had him that game, which is incredible.
Yeah. On Ampadu, later in the match, he got booked for diving against Cunha. I don't think he died. I think that's the second booking for Cunha. I'm adamant Cunha should have been sent off. He gets away with a lot, Cunha. But anyway, on the game, obviously, I had a feeling going in you were going to get a result. because I feel like with Carrick, he's been like a ticking time bomb. He's brilliant, but he's a manager who got sacked by Middlesbrough. It's like it was always a matter of time for him to crumble. I was hoping it happened before we played them because I still don't know. I don't. All it takes is putting Cody Gakpo up front for me to say, yeah, we'll lose to United.
Yeah.
But it's went into that game, looking into that game early doors. I was like, I could just tell you were going to win it. Like you were all over them. The defense just couldn't cope with you. And if it was DCL missed a sitter early on.
Yeah, he missed two. He missed that one early on, and then he missed a header in like 75th minute. That were easy. Should have scored.
He should have won like 5 or 6-0. Like our Tanaka missed an open goal. Like what?
He was great defending that, to be fair to him. I know Tanaka's probably should get a shot away a bit quicker, but to round the keeper was brilliant, and then he's a brilliant tackle. I don't think you can blame him too much for that.
The tackle was brilliant, but he had the opportunity to just bury it, get it sorted, get a goal at Old Trafford against your big rivals. Like it would have been. It's an easy goal. I know he's a defender. I know is he younger? Is he a younger defender, Tanaka? He's a
midfielder, centre midfielder.
Tanaka, God, that's CDM. I'm being daft, me.
CDM, yeah.
CDM. I don't.
He plays a bit further up for us now. He played in there quite a bit last season, but because of Ampadu, he plays a bit further up now.
That's weird. I know the club you signed him from, but I just completely forgot his position.
Yeah, he was Dusseldorf, wasn't it?
Dusseldorf, yeah.
Yeah.
Dusseldorf.
Yeah, but he's been brilliant as well last few weeks when he's come in. So hopefully he has his running the team now, and then hopefully push on and stay up.
Hopefully the rumours about him going aren't true, because I quite like the look of Tanaka, and I can't see him staying in the league if he leaves. I can see him like going to France or Germany, back to Germany. But...
Yeah, I think it's just about playing time. He hasn't really had that playing time with Stack this season. I think Stack's probably replaced him a bit, and he's not had as much minutes as he wants to. But with Stack out injured now, he's got a few weeks to probably prove that he should be in there, maybe alongside Stack.
Yeah, it surprises me that Ilya Gruev starts over him. I like Ilya Gruev. I think he's solid, but I think Tanaka's just a much better player. It's not the case that I don't rate him. It's more the case that he's a better player. He should start over you. But obviously, you're the Leeds fan here, so you know more than me.
I think they're very different players.
Yeah.
And it depends how we're setting up. I think if we're going for the game, we're going after the game. You start Tanaka. If you're being a bit more reserved, you're away at the Chelsea, Liverpool.
Well,
not on Man United, because we need to go for them games, but
it's the type of game you need to go for, and you went for it. You got to win for the first time since 1981 at Old Trafford in the league. First time in the league's history you've done that. It's massive. So the way you're playing, you've got the Red Bull money coming in. Genuinely, do you reckon you're a team on the up? Because I'd say you are.
I really hope so, but we've had that with Bielsa in our first season. When we went up to 9th, we stayed up, and then it went all downhill. So it just depends how we recruit. It depends how the structure of the club's going in the next few years, and hopefully, but you never know.
Just leave it on one question. It's kind of a personal question with Leeds. That Perry you signed from Lyon, is he just not very good? Because I was surprised that you played Cardalo in the league against Man United at Old Trafford.
Caldalo's been in nets for about 2 months now.
I know, but
Perry. The thing is with Perry, he came in and he's a good probably shot stopper, but he's very erratic. Like the shot stopper isn't catching the ball; it's punching the ball back into the 6-yard box. It's diving into top corner and he's missed ball because it's gone the other way. I don't know with Perry. He's a bit erratic. He's a brilliant keeper, but he's erratic, and I think that's why it's cost him, especially in the Premier League, not getting minutes. But I think when he's come in FA Cup against Birmingham and then West Ham, I think he's been good, and I think he'll probably deserve to play against Chelsea in semi-finals. And hopefully he can come back in next season and be brilliant. But I think we do need to look for someone like James Trafford. Perfect.
You're going for that up-and-coming keeper at Leipzig. I know they've played Galacci, but they have this other one, this Belgian keeper. He looks solid. I could see you just loaning him in because, you're owned by Red Bull. So
Van der Vaart.
I can see it. I can see it.
Right. Enough of the results last week. Let's get into we've got some team of the weeks prepared.
Yep.
So we'll get into them. Obviously, just a brief explanation. We'll just get through them quite quickly. I don't think will be much different, but I think, just a brief explanation. So start with goalkeepers. I've got Robin Roofs. Again, I think Did well against Spurs, had a couple of saves to do, but nothing special. And I think there wasn't really a standout keeper this week for me.
I really, really wanted to go Roofs because obviously I'm a Liverpool fan with Irish links, so you already know what I'm saying. I'm going with Quavian Kelleher purely because I just think he completely kept Brentford in that game. The double save early on, the saves he made were just ludicrous. And I will add to the Everton game, I don't think that the better goal should have stood because Garner had Lewis Potter in a headlock. I was like, how's that stood? But yeah. It's Everton, the team that have never done wrong. So, I don't know. I think Kelleher, because his shot stopping was amazing, but I can't argue with Robin Roos.
Yeah. And then right back, I might have cheated a bit here, and he did play central midfield, but he has played right back before, and he does play right back sometimes for Brighton. I put Mats Weaver there, who obviously scored 2 goals for him, so I thought he had to be in there somewhere, so I just chucked him in at right back, to be honest.
I did see Weaver's goal. I thought his goals were amazing, but I didn't put him right back. I was torn between two. I was torn between Coyote because of his assist to Thiago or Mukiele. Ended up going with Mukiele because I feel like he was the only real decent chance that Sunderland had. And I think he was good defensively. He was good offensively. Honestly, just solid right back, solid performance. Had to go Mukiele.
Nice. And then left back, I've gone Nico O'Reilly. Goal. Manchester City, brilliant as always.
Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah. I don't think there's much argument there. And one of my centre backs, I've gone. My centre backs, I've gone Matt Gay. Have you got him in now?
I've got Matt Gay. I think we've got the same for the second centre half as well. To be honest, is it Maverick?
Yes, it is. Yeah. 2 goals. You can't really say any otherwise.
Half getting a brace.
No, yeah, I do. And then I think obviously fantastic, and I think he's been good, to be fair, for West Ham. And when I watched him in Cup against Leeds, he was good. He was a good centre half. And were he at Arsenal? Or am I making that up?
No, he was at Arsenal years ago, but they signed him from Stuttgart. I just remember because they signed him in the same window we signed Endo.
Yeah.
So.
No.
First few years he's looked poor, but now he looks solid. If he does another season like he does this season, he'll get a move. He'll get a massive move.
Yeah, Chelsea for £70 million.
Yeah, he's out their age profile. He's over 23.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then first centre mid, I think I've gone really biased here, and I don't think you'll have him in whatsoever. And I think you probably have Wifer in there instead, but Ampadu. I think he was fantastic. He was so good. He ran that game for us, and he does most weeks. And I think he's so much probably beyond our level. It's crazy to think how we've got him and had him for these few years, especially in the Championship now coming up with us.
It surprised me he stayed with you in the Championship for so long. I thought he'd be gone.
And I think as well, I think he's one of them players who are just brilliant, but I don't think you'll get 50, 60 million for him. I think if he were going to go, he's going to go for 30 million. Clubs won't pay more than 20, 30 million for him. I think he's one of them players who's just good, but he's not considered that good because maybe, I don't know, maybe he's Welsh, maybe he's a defensive midfielder from Leeds. I don't know what the stereotype would be with him, but I think he is fantastic, and if we can keep him and build a squad around him these next few years, I think we'll be more than fine.
I think it's like what Elise said when we compared him to Yamo. He wants his PR. He has no PR. He's not He's not fancy. He spent years just doing nothing at Chelsea. I think he's like second division of Italy on loan before you signed him or something. I think, was it the team Ashley Cole's managing that? Was it? He was loaned out, or am I going mad?
No, I think it was Valencia, something like that.
The fancy one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we gone for a 4-4-2.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
In midfield, first am I saying both midfielders because I didn't go Ampadu, or do I just say?
Yeah, you say both.
They're both a bit attacking, so it doesn't really fit a 4-4-2. But one of them was playing deeper. I went for Alex Scott, Tottenham fan scoring against Arsenal. Yeah, he just had to. He looked solid defensively. The goal, what a goal! I think minus the fact that he just wellied the ball over Arsenal's goal like 2 minutes before he scored. I think it was a very good performance. And the other one, Kane and Shrewsbury Hall. Had to.
That's an hard one for you to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I absolutely loved Kane and Shrewsbury Hall. Emphasis on loved, but he's a player that I always thought should be at a better club when he was at Leicester because offensively I think he's amazing, defensively I think he's amazing. I always thought he'd be better in a deeper role. I was always a bit surprised when David Moyes played him as a cam, but he's quality. He's genuinely become that creative engine that Everton haven't had since I'd argue when they sold Barkley to Chelsea. Like they haven't had a creative engine for years. They've just relied on lumping it up to the big man with DCL and Richarlison. I thought they'd struggle this season because obviously I didn't think Kane would be that creative engine after his poor season with Chelsea, where he didn't really get a look in. I thought he'd take time to adapt, a bit like when Liverpool signed Gravenberch first season, where he's just not up to speed with playing all that time because I think Kane played less than Gravenberch did at Bayern. But regardless, especially with no strikers, so I don't really rate Beto, and I think Tiano Barry's work rate isn't the best. I think what they've done with Grealish and Kane, I think just big applause to David Moyes. I think he's done a brilliant job.
Yeah, I do like him as a player. I think he's a good player, definitely. I've seen him in the Championship as well against Leeds, and then coming up again when he played for Chelsea, and then back at Everton this season. I think he's a good player. Everyone knew he was a good player from when he was younger at Leicester. But yeah, I agree with you. I've gone with Alex Scott as well to partner Ampadu in my midfield.
Who would have thought the Liverpool fan would be the one who names the Everton player? I don't know. I think I can't argue with Ampadu, but I think I'd just edge it to Dewsbury Hall because Everton were. I don't think they were very good. I think I don't think the better goal should have stood because Garner had Lewis Potter in a headlock and refs are blind apparently. But yeah, I think Dewsbury Hall took his goal well and gained some of his aura back after slipping against Max Darman the other week.
Yeah, no. He's definitely a good player and probably does deserve that spot. Maybe I'm just been biased with Ampadu. Anyway, so have you got two wingers?
Two wingers, yeah. You go first, yeah?
Yeah, I've got Ryan Cherky, and then I put Okafor on the wing because I've not put him up front. I think two goals for Okafor and 2 assists for Cherky. I think he was brilliant against Chelsea. With them 2 assists were brilliant as well.
On right mid, I've also gone Cherky. I've put Rio on the left, and I do have Okafor on my team. I think he had to have Rio. It might be biased, but genuinely, I was bouncing watching a really entire game because genuinely he offered so much for someone who's younger than me. He took the mick out of Fulham. That first goal, he's being marked by the entire defence and the midfield. He got 6 men on him. It's like he's being marked by 6 people, and he just takes the mick out of him. Like he's a special player. I think I had to put him.
Yeah, I put a note next to mine saying honourable mention Rio. I think he just missed out because of my 2 strikers, and I'd have probably put Okafor up front and maybe took one of my strikers out, which you'll see in a minute.
I've genuinely spent the last hour before this podcast trying to work out who the hell to put up front. Like, oh my! I had to put Okafor.
Yeah, Okafor, and who's your one that you've gone with?
I'm not sure exactly. Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Yeah, I've gone with Mateta and Igor Thiago. Gone with both.
Igor Thiago is who I was really unsure about. But I think Okafor had to go in. I think he's player of the week for me easily. That him or him. No, just him. It has to be Okafor. But I like Thiago. But to be fair, he scored a penalty, and his second goal should have just left it for Coyote because it was going in.
But he's just not going away in this golden boot race. Haaland must be looking behind him and thinking, "Oh, I've not had this in years."
Yeah, Haaland must be thinking, "Oh my God, what's happened to him? I'm about to lose the golden boot race to a guy who's a bricklayer in 2022."
Yeah.
When Haaland signed for City, he was a bricklayer. Like, what's happening?
God. And then obviously Mateta in his last few weeks coming alive again, which he needs to, because if he wants his move, which he clearly does, and he didn't get in January, he needs to actually perform. And maybe that's coming to his head now, where I'm thinking, maybe Palace might sell me to Burnley. Or maybe if I score a few goals, I will go to AC Milan. So maybe that's in back of his head as well. And I think he has been performing in these last few weeks for him.
The standard for AC Milan isn't the same anymore. They've gone from having Shevchenko to Fulkrug. You got the guy who thinks he's massive when he spent his entire career in the German second division. I'm sorry, Fulkrug, mate. You're not AC Milan level.
Yeah. Right. Before we move on to this week's fixtures, have you got anything else to say about last week's?
Have I said enough about Rio? I cannot. I don't think I can say enough. If Rio's not starting next week, oh my god, that's like the 50th sackable offence today.
Yeah, and then obviously Leeds last week, absolutely buzzing. But that's where I'll leave it today. So going on to next week, I'm not mentioning all the games. I'm mentioning the big games and then maybe the relegation games at the bottom. But we'll quickly go over and give a prediction to everyone and see what we think. So we'll start off with Chelsea versus Man United.
This might be wishful thinking, but I think Chelsea will win that. United looked hopeless against you. Honest to God, I feel like it's going to start getting into Carrick's head, especially since it's come out today that they were interviewing managers, and Carrick was like, "I'm upset that you're interviewing other managers. You're an interim manager, mate. That's your job. You cover until the other guy comes in." So I think Carrick might lose his composure a little bit over these few weeks, and I don't see United maintaining their run. I still think they'll get Champions League, no doubt, but I think they're going to struggle.
I agree with you. I think Chelsea will win. I think they'll need a point to prove, especially after last week, that second half performance. I think they'll need to come back out and, I think especially Rosinha, I think he'll have a chat with his team, and I think they'll come out a better squad, and I do think they'll beat Manchester United, who will be damaged from last week as well.
I do rate Rosinha. I think he's a bit of an idiot. You've got like the man ager, your aging men. That was a bit silly, and him having a team bonding session with Lego, that was interesting.
Well, it's like Arsenal with the pens. Have you seen that one? The pens.
Yeah.
Together.
It's interesting, but I think he's a very good manager. I think he has a bright future. Out of all of England's current managers, I think he has the most potential. Unless we're talking about players, and I just have a feeling that Henderson's going to be a top manager, and I think that half the City boys. But I don't know. I think Chelsea might just scrape it. I think it'll be a good game. I think like 3-1 or something. My money's on Rosinha to get a result.
I agree. And then moving on to Merseyside derby, Everton versus Liverpool. It's a difficult game. I do think Liverpool will get through it, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a draw. But I don't think Liverpool will lose. But I think especially this season with Everton being good for once, and then Liverpool not being as good as they have been last year, I think it could be a much difficult game for you this year.
The thing is, I don't want to go in all overconfident because Everton have the players to beat us at the moment. I think the Ekatike injury, like if we had Ekatike, I'd be more confident. Like Ekatike can score against JP in his tiny arms, but like I don't know. It depends. If Isak's fit to play most of the game, I think we'll win. But I think it'll be like either a 1-1 draw or a 3-1 win to either side. Like genuinely, the Merseyside derby is the worst game to predict in football because for like the last 30 years, Everton don't seem to care about winning trophies. They seem to only care about beating Liverpool. Like we can't forget when they beat us 2-2 a couple of years ago, celebrating like they won the World Cup over a 2-2 draw. Genuinely, this rivalry means everything to them, and like it means everything to us. But like to them, like it's all they have. So it's all they're going to compete for. So they're going to end up coming out playing like prime Barcelona just for a 2-2 draw. So you can't predict it, genuinely.
I agree with you. I think it's very hard to predict. But if I were going to, I'd lean towards Liverpool. But again, I won't be shocked either way. And then moving on, we'll save the best games till last. So we'll go like the relegation teams. We'll go Leeds versus Wolves. I do think that we'll win. But I think I won't be surprised if we do lose this one because it's so Leeds to win at Man United and then lose to Wolves at home. It's so Leeds.
I think you'll beat them. Like, spoke with a Wolves fan. He's been like dreading the whole season. Like he knew they were going down from the start. I don't see him beating you. You're off the high of beating your big rivals for the first time in the league in like nearly 50 years, and you're coming off that high. You can't lose to Wolves. Like it is a. To be fair, I hope you do if Liverpool lose because I can actually come on here without like a bag over my head. Like, no, I don't know. I get what you're saying. Wolves do have quality in their team. Like that, Matthias Mane looks exceptional. They got João Gomez, who's quality. Like they've actually got some like quality in their side for one of the worst teams in the league's history. But like, I don't know.
I agree. I think I do think we'll win it, and I think we should win it quite comfortably, especially at home. But you never know with Leeds. And then moving to Spurs Brighton again, going Brighton. I just don't think Spurs. I think they could be done.
This could relegate Spurs.
It could, because I think if we win, we'll go 9 points above Spurs with 5 to go. And Spurs lose, sorry. And then Forest and West Ham, if they both win and Spurs lose, which again it's unlikely, all 3 win and Spurs lose, but then the 6 points off it, it's a long way. And they need results, Spurs, but I just don't think they have it in them.
I like De Zerbi. I like him as a manager. I think his reputation's tanked after going to Marseille, signing that specific guy, and I think he's damaged a bit, and obviously this is going to damage him a lot. I think he has the ability. It's just the players; they're not up to it. I couldn't tell you who's going down. I think West Ham have escaped relegation. I think they're in too good a form to go down. I think it's between Forest and Spurs. So it's like Spurs have the worst team out of the two. That's no debate. I think Forest have a lot of quality. They have the Gibbs, White, Anderson. You've got Chris Wood back now, but I think the reason why I might edge Forest to go down is that they're also competing in the Europa League. You got the extra games that they just can't cope with.
Yeah,
and I think it would be hilarious if they won the Europa League and got relegated. So like they're playing Madrid away, and then they're going to go play like Bradford away the next day. It's that's the you don't come back from that.
Yeah, and I think Spurs will go down. I think Forest do have the quality to stay up, but I agree with you with the European statement, and I think their fixtures are the worst by far out of the relegation scrap teams. Forest are, so I do think Forest do have a big chance.
I mean, I can't even be like I want this one to go down, because there's players from both I would absolutely love at Liverpool. Like we definitely need a CDM. So Archie Gray or Anderson, I love either of them. Even though Anderson's going to City, let's be honest, that's a given. But yes, I don't know. It's an interesting relegation battle. I feel like the relegation battle's been boring since Forest and that come up. It's just been the same 3 teams up, same 3 teams down for the last few years, with like Everton, Wolves, and that all being like escaping by the skin of their teeth. It's boring.
Yeah, I agree. And Forest this week they've got Burnley at home, and I think they'll win that one.
Yeah, I don't think it's as clear cut. Like I don't rate Scott Parker. I don't think he's a good manager. I think he's championship level at best. But like I said it only last week, but I think they were really unlucky against Brighton, because, in fairness, the first goal, I don't see how that first goal was offside, because it was his arm. Like, was his sleeve off or something? It's like, but then for the second goal, if the sleeve's what's going to catch you offside, I think it was Matoma's arm that was playing him on. His sleeve was beyond him. So if you aren't going to measure from the sleeve for here, why are you measuring for the sleeve for the other team? Dodgy. I don't have a problem with either of those goals standing. I don't think anyone really should. I feel like Burnley got done dirty. I mean, to be fair, until that, I completely forgot Burnley were in the league. But like that,
I think they'll be out of it anyway. To be honest, I think them and Wolves are all but confirmed down. Which I don't think they'll have anything to play for. I think the players will think, well, we're gone now. So as long as we put in some effort, we should be all right. So that's what I do think Forest will win. I think Forest have fighting a bit more.
I mean, look at the attacks. Burnley have Armando Broja, and look at who Forest have. They have like 6 attackers who all get in the striker position over him, even Hudson-Odoi, who's not a striker.
Yeah. And then the last of the relegation games is Palace West Ham. And I think that's a horrible game to predict. I think it'll probably go either way or a draw. And I've got no idea really, but I will probably edge towards a draw.
I'm edging towards West Ham.
I think either team could win.
I think West Ham. I just think Palace, they don't look good at all. They didn't look great against Newcastle, but in fairness, Newcastle just look horrendous. I think Howe's time's up completely. Like I could see him going for like a more like ambitious manager, like I've just seen the chat, Charlie. Shut up, man. Okay. Sorry. With Palace, like they didn't look good. Like with Newcastle, the new manager, I could see him going for like a ambitious manager, like a Xavi Hernandez, someone like that, someone like who's got experience at actually winning stuff. other than how winning his energy drink cup last year. I'm still bitter. Oh, yeah.
And then we've got obviously the big one, which is saved till last, Manchester City versus Arsenal. I think it's a huge game, and whoever wins this, I think, will win the league. And I think Arsenal, it depends how Arsenal set up for me. And I just think if they set up to go for the game, I think they've got a bigger chance than sitting back and going for a draw and then kind of easing it out till the end of the season. But I think Manchester City will win. I do, and I think Manchester City will win the league from there.
City with 1 goal difference, I reckon. I just think.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely love to see that the team that's like, we can't concede goals. We need to play our entire team in defence. Like, play like Tony Pulis. I'd love to see them lose the league on goal difference. I think it'll be a boring first half. I don't think we'll see anything at all in the first half. But I think second half you'll see City come alive. I think Arsenal crumble. They're the sort of team, this is kind of the case of every defensive team. With every goal you score, it's easier to score because they need to come out more. Arsenal can't lose that game. And if Arsenal go to the Etihad just to sit back and draw, honest to God, Arteta will be sacked. You cannot go to the Etihad and just sit and play like a 5 at the back, park the bus and do nothing for 90 minutes. That'd be like watching Gareth Southgate football.
Yeah, I agree with you. You just can't do that, and because Manchester City, they'll find a way to pick you apart because they're that good. And yeah. I think Arsenal do need to go for it. I think they need to show a bit to their fans as well that they're not going to bottle it, that they're confident to win it, that they're going to go for it. I think that's what they need to do. And if they do that, I think they're in for every chance. But I've got a feeling that they won't.
Maybe one thought to end it on. A lot of people are talking about Salah. I don't think enough people are talking about Robertson. I'm in bits over him going.
Yeah, DK injured as well. That's free in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, apparently he's agreed to go to Spurs. I don't know why on earth Andy Robertson would want to play in the Championship, but
I think it'd be on merit that they stay up, I presume.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way one of the better left backs in the league. I know he's not the player he used to be, but there's no way on earth Andy Robertson, one of the top 2 left backs in the league's history, would leave a struggling Liverpool team for a relegated Tottenham. That would just be. Have we gone that bad? No way.
I don't think so either. But having saying that, I think we've covered everything really today.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
That's what I thought. I thought we'd done everything. I just wanted to mention Robertson because I'm in bits.
Yeah, definitely. And then if anyone else is in bits as well, let us know. And where do you think he'll go as well in the comments? Even if you're not a Liverpool fan, let us know where you think he'll go. Right. So if you're listening on Spotify, we're also on YouTube. But if you're watching on YouTube, then check us out on Spotify. It's the Premier League Blitz podcast.
We were told to not mention Spotify.
Right. See you later, everyone. Thanks for coming and watching. See you next week.